Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Saints get a win yesterday over Jacksonville, 23-21 at the Dome. Wanted to run through some of my takeaways individually from the game. When we opened the show today, I kind of gave you my overarching theme, which is the Saints are still really well coached. It's obvious. They're still a very good, well-coached football team. And I think they're going to be really competitive based on what we've seen now through a couple of preseason games. There's some personnel questions that they have to answer, I think, if they really want to be a contender in the division and in the NFC. But it's a long season. They have a long way to get there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the individual players. Obviously, it starts at quarterback, and Sean Payton did explain what he liked from Jameis Winston, who started and played exceptionally well last night.
Just the explosives. I thought, they pressured him on one play, and he was able to kind of quick switch protection, get into a route for a touchdown. Yeah, I thought there were some real good exposures there early on, and I thought we handled it well.
So Jameis on the day was really the story. 9 of 10 for 123, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a rating of 157.5. His only incompletion was a check down, and you could see him. He was gearing up to chuck it downfield, and he settled for the check down. And because he had so much amp behind it, he sort of overthrew the running back on the check down. That was his only incompletion of the day. But Jameis was sensational, and he did talk a bit about how he felt last night having the opportunity to start and play.
I got to give God all the glory. Like, I haven't started a football game in so long, man. So I was so excited to just get an opportunity to start and lead the pack, man. It was exciting, and the rhythm was great. Offensive line was phenomenal. And we had guys like Quez making plays all night, man. You got to love that.
Speaking of Quez, that's Marquez Callaway, who really through 2 weeks, I would say, has got to be the biggest story. And this is why. I don't want to overstate it, but have you noticed how much our conversation around the need to add wide receivers and angst over Michael Thomas has dissipated? Like, have you noticed that? It's because of Marquez Callaway. It's because he's gone out now and in 2 preseason games against like elite NFL talent has proven to be the guy. He's been a number one. I mean, last week against Humphrey was out there making big plays, and he did it again last night as well. So I don't think there's even this question anymore about, do the Saints have a viable number one receiver? You do. Now, who wins? No, and look, Traquan Smith hasn't even been healthy. We've forgotten about him too. That's how impressive what Marquez Callaway is doing really is, because he's made us forget about the angst over Michael Thomas, about Traquan Smith's injury, because you're looking around going, man, they got dudes that are catching the ball and getting open. And Callaway caught 2 touchdown passes from Jameis Winston last night, and both were spectacular efforts. And he did talk after the game about his relationship with Jameis.
I love Jameis. Jameis is he is one of the goofiest persons I know off the field. And I think the way we connect off the field is a lot of the reasons why we have a lot of good chemistry on the field. And I think, especially quarterback, getting to know who you're playing with is a big reason. And it's a lot that goes into it. And having that relationship outside the field is why a lot of guys play on the field well together, knowing each other's reasons on why we're doing what we're doing.
Few other takeaways from last night. I thought as a receiver, Jordan Humphrey showed up big. Had another touchdown catch, 4 receptions for 74 yards, long of 25. His 4 catches were on 5 targets. I liked last year when they signed Jordan Humphrey, because he was a guy at the University of Texas that just made plays and got in the end zone. And he's done that again now. Will he be able to do it consistently? That's the question. He had a drop yesterday. He had a drop in the first play of preseason last week against Baltimore. He dropped an out route that Taysom actually put a really good ball on him. But he played well enough last night, and when you know you've got Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, Deontay Harris having locked up spots, if you're going to keep 5 receivers, that means guys like Lil Jordan Humphrey and Ty Montgomery and the newly acquired Kevin White, who we're going to talk about here in just a minute, and Chris Hogan. All of these guys are, Kawan Baker, 7th-round draft pick. All these guys are vying for those last couple of spots. And how do you stand out? I think Lil Jordan Humphrey did that last night. I'll give you a couple defensively. I think Marcus Davenport has been sensational if he can just stay healthy. I tweeted last night during the game that every night before I go to bed, I'm going to pray for world peace and for Marcus Davenport to stay healthy. Because if he continues to play like he's playing now and like he's played when he's been healthy throughout the first portion of his career, he could be a very special player. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. He's consistently, Pro Football Focus rates him as the highest graded defensive player and all that sort of stuff. He's just got to stay healthy. If he does, I think he could be sensational. And I did want to mention Ken Crowley as well, because Crowley last evening, again, played big and had an amazing pass breakup near the goal line, which was, receiver was behind him, was going to be a touchdown. Ball was slightly underthrown, but Crowley went up and elevated and made a really nice play to knock it away. So, yes, I think Ken Crowley's played very well. But I want to go back to the point that I've made oftentimes here about what I know about Sunday players. I know what Ken Crowley looks like as a Sunday player. And it's not an outside cornerback. So it would be hypocritical of me to excuse any shortcomings from other players, like as we talked about with quarterback, because I've seen them on Sundays, and so I don't really care what happens in preseason games or in practice, and then to not hold Ken Crowley to the same standard. I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful that if he has to start on the outside, that he can do so and do so exceptionally well. But I am extremely skeptical because I have seen him throughout his career be a very good special teams player, a nickel back, a guy in the sub packages. But as a starter on the outside, that's not his role. He hasn't been good enough on NFL Sundays to be that guy. And I don't know if I'm changing my mind, but he did play very well last night. If you're looking for guys that went the other way, Taysom Hill's obviously at the top of that list. It just was not a good day for Taysom Hill, and that I don't think is tremendously surprising. The other guy that I think you really have to keep an eye on now is Latavius Murray.
Murray, present.
Sean Payton said that Tony Jones is his number 2 running back right now. And with good reason. It's Kamara, it is Tony Jones, and I don't know. Latavius Murray.
Murray, present.
Has been a sort of north and south runner without quick feet. And it is so evident at times that if he doesn't get going and hit that hole, he can't make you miss. 4 carries last night for 6 yards. Just never got it going. Devontae Freeman looked better than Latavius Murray. And
Murray,
remember,
present.
You've got Dwayne Washington hanging around as well. I don't know that I would say definitively that Latavius Murray has a roster spot locked up.
Murray, present.
It's Kamara, it's Tony Jones, and then I think any of Devontae Freeman, Dwayne Washington, or Latavius Murray
Murray, present.
could win that 3rd running back spot. It was a really disappointing day for Murray yesterday.
Murray, present.
And then the other guy who I was really disappointed for was Kevin White. I think a lot of people are pulling for him. This is a former number 7 overall pick in the draft whose whole career has been derailed by injury after injury, but his athleticism, his physical ability continues to get him opportunities. And last night, he had 3 targets and came up with no catches and had 2 drops. Last night, they were intentionally trying to push him the ball in the 4th quarter with Trevor Siemian in. They throw him a quick slant, goes right between the 1 and the 7, and he drops it. And a few plays later, they went right back to the same play to give him another opportunity, and he dropped it again. The NFL is unforgiving. And you could say, well, what happens if you put him in a game? Might it be different? And maybe and probably. I don't know. But you're trying to, as a coaching staff, make roster and personnel decisions based on the evidence you have. And that very small sample size was objectively very bad for Kevin White. So, unless if he can get on the field against Arizona on Saturday with a lot of the key guys not playing and have an absolute breakout day, I don't know how he makes the team. You can't. They intentionally pushed him the ball twice on easy routes just to get him comfortable, and he dropped both of them. So that's disappointing for Kevin White. But a few of my takeaways from the Saints win over the Jags, personnel-wise, they obviously have to get rosters down from 85 to 80 today. So we'll go through some of those roster decisions that they've made whenever they're all formally announced. But Saints are moving toward it, and then they'll have to get to the 53 after the final preseason game next Tuesday. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.